Hello, everyone. Hello, good evening. Good evening. We're here today, guys. It's winter time. Literally, it's December, and as an educator, there are a lot of performances that's going on at our school. So I I need to support my students. So went out to support my students. But I also have a date with you, so I have to keep up my date with you. Okay. So let me say welcome to Second Thought. Tonight we are going to be talking. Hopefully Anthony can join me. We're going to be talking about um our nation and those who are put in charge to steer the nation in wherever direction the Liberian people believe it should be in. And I thought that's why they changed the government. Okay. But I just show you a picture of President Bwaka by the invitation of some local governor or superintendent in Nigeria that he's gone. Um, so I want to talk about that. And I also want to talk about the bill that Darius Dillon is talking about. Why I particularly think the idea is good, but this is not truly reduction per se. Okay. And I explained to you all, but before I bring this one, I need to play a recording here of Omen Bwaka really quickly. Just give me a second. All right. I want to play this. This is from the debate in 2017. Okay. Do this. That's fine. Okay. So I'm gonna play this for you, and then I'm gonna reverse it. I'm gonna go kind of what you were said.
Vice President Borkai? The question again, some estimates have put the budget deficit at about 8.5% of the GDP. This deficit, as you know, affects the operations of government. What specific plans do you have to address the repeated budget deficit so that the government runs smoothly?
I think my government will insist on a balanced budget. If we lack fiscal discipline.
Okay, folks, I'm gonna stop right there. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there with you. I'm gonna stop right there so we all talk this together. First, he states, "I will insist on my government having a balanced budget." Okay, there is a precursor to this conversation. Yuri comes in and he said there must be a government, a local development, instead of we're saying roll. It does not help the country. And it's nowhere, any developer, it's unheard of that 80+% of your budget is spent on recurring expenditure. Nowhere in the world. That means there's no money left for human capital development. There's no money left for infrastructure development. So we need to revisit that. So that's what he's speaking to. And I want you all to please pay attention, okay? Before we get on the plane.
Spending out of budget is irresponsible. And you know very well, I think we too donor dependent. Everything we want must come from the donors. I have always said an overprotected child cannot be self-reliant. Liberians have the resources. We should use those resources wisely. We don't have to go to people to look for money if we manage our resources well. I'm happy that my counterparts, they always calling my name when they speak, experience. Thank you very much for addressing me, because that's what I have. The experience, we've been in it. We don't.
Okay, Liberian people, let's digest this. If you're on here, please share this video. Okay, I gotta get my charger. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna continue to let this play. Okay, I'm gonna take it back slightly to Yuri, then it will play to Bwaka. I just wanted to bring this to bear. Okay, so give me 1 second. I will take it to Yuri, almost at the end. Yuri is making his point here. This is right here. Okay, this is Bronsky, but I'm gonna go to Yuri.
The need for a planning ministry. If the budget is not done professionally and realistically, you will always have a deficit. If you don't have the requisite skills and experience in preparing the budget, you will have a deficit. I will lobby with the legislative branch of government to ensure that the Ministry of Planning and Development be recreated. Because the Ministry of Planning and Development is the heart of the country, especially coming out of a civil war and in the instance where the country is in the situation it's in today. We have to have qualified, experienced people to plan the future of our country. I, Benoni Yuri, as president of this country, will immediately accept a 50% reduction in my salary. And I expect that the legislative, the judiciary, and all other branches of government will do likewise if they love and care about the people of Liberia. And this money can be redirected to another source. But most importantly, we have deficit because we believe, and meaning no harm to this government, that this government and many other governments appear to be too business unfriendly. One must create an enabling environment where people will come, invest in this country, and don't be harassed. Increasing taxes does not necessarily give you revenue, but one has to create the environment where people will come freely and invest in this country. And we will continue to have budget deficits until these things are treated. So, in addition to to what I said, I'd like to ask that all the monies generated from the reduction in salary, I want you to know that 80% of our budget is recurring expenses. How can we ever develop our country?
So, people of Liberia, did you hear him? Our budget, Alyssa knows that I'm live. I'll call her at Alyssa. Hi, baby. How are you? I'm good. How you doing? Okay, how did it go? You sure? Okay, did you order the things? Okay. If you're all back, I can call you back because I'm on the show. Okay, that's okay. Then go ahead and study. That's important. Go ahead and study. I didn't want to miss your call. Okay, bye. I love you. Bye. All right. Yeah, that was my baby. That was an important call. Yeah, that's my heartbeat. And she knows that. Okay, so here it is. Nothing has changed. Okay. When Alexander Cummings said that the other day, people got upset. People were pissed off. There was nothing to be pissed off about. Listen, they tell you, but a Peabody High, chicaneries, that is correct. Yes. What he said is correct. Okay. So we went through the war. For the war to come to a stop after they have sabotaged our youth, traumatized us, scatter us, for them to come to a halt, the killers, the rapists, the liars, and the looters had to agree. Majority of them rich now. Okay? From the person that ended up phoning our car to this person to that person and all of that. They went to the table. Wow, what people were praying and leaving their own to go. When our ma and pa them were leaving their own to go, they were planning and ordering guns. They sat at the table for them to agree. To stop fighting, they have to divide all the financial facets in the country, all the different organs of the country. One group got finance, one group got telecommunication, one group got the free port, one group. Y'all go look at it. They call it power sharing. Ruth Perry King, she had to navigate. Judy Bryant came and said, we'll prosecute people, we'll do this. The moment he got there, he told the people, y'all come and bring me evidence. He was in charge. He had the national security apparatus at his disposal. He had the judiciary on his watch, but he was asking the Liberian people to bring him evidence. I'm gonna glad Ellen had him prosecuted because he needed to be prosecuted. He did. Says Letty, hi mama. Okay, there we go. I want you to listen here. I am not a fan of Yure, but I am a fan of the idea, at least some of the idea that he's bringing forth. Okay, I am. As a business major, I understand where he's going with this. Okay, so this is where, before I play Bwaka, this is where Yure is coming from. If in 2017, the recurring expenditure were 87%, nowhere that is worth going. Any nation that will develop will never ever have that kind of budgetary allotment or logic for that matter. So let's listen to Yure. Let's continue and then we'll come back to Bwaka. Y'all listen to him.
When 80% of it is on recurring expenses. It's strange to the world. Almost every growing country in this world will take at least 60% of her budget for development and not on recurring expenses. I thank you.
So you talked about having the requisite skills as a means of avoiding budget deficit. I mean, we've had like 4 or 5 stewards of our economy, the Ministry of Finance, since President Sirleaf became president. I think one of them is even in this room. But is that an indication? I mean, were you implying that we have had unqualified people handling the budget?
Certainly not. We have had some of the brightest young people in our country, people that I'm proud of as a Liberian. But I'm saying we need people with experience. We need people with experience. And I also call for the creation of the Ministry of Planning and Development. It's a difficult task. Look, planning, I am a planner. I got my master's degree in planning from the University of Southern California. And it was a difficult degree. It was a difficult degree. And it requires a lot. And it's true that we had very bright young people in the Ministry of Planning and Ministry of Finance, Planning and Development, but there's a need to have experienced people that will guide our young, very talented and educated and smart people. And then there's a need to separate the two institutions. Planning, coming out of a civil war, is the most important ministry. In addition to that, a Ministry of Rural Development. I listened to our older brother, the Vice President, talking about roads. We must create a Ministry of Rural Development. It's unfair for all the resources to be centered in Monrovia. It must go to the rural area.
Vice President Borkai?
Now there we go. Listen up.
Some estimates, the question again, some estimates have put the budget deficit at about 8.5% of the GDP. This deficit, as you know, affects the operations of government. What specific plans do you have to address the repeated budget deficits so that the government runs smoothly?
I think my government will insist on a balanced budget. If we lack fiscal discipline, spending out of budget is irresponsible. And you know very well, I think we too donor dependent. Everything we want must come from the donors. I have always said an overprotected child cannot be self-reliant. Liberians have the resources. We should use those resources wisely.
I want Liberian people to stop and listen. Listen to this carefully. An overprotected child cannot be self-reliant. Did you guys hear that? We are too donor dependent. Did you all hear that? But guess what? This man has hopped on the plane 30 times. 30 times since he became president. There are 15 candidates in Liberia. I don't think he has been to 50% of the candidates. I don't think he has visited twice. But he has been all around the world. People who did not vote for him, spending whatever little Liberia has, going to bag. And then the people who backed him say, oh, he's going to develop a build relationship. We have ambassadors. We have foreign affairs minister. We have other people. The president does not need to be on the plane. You don't develop a nation by being on the plane. American presidents were not on the plane when they developed this nation, especially after their civil war, after war, in fact, during World War I, when they went through the Great Depression. They sat at the table, they planned, they executed their plans. They thought about how do we build a middle class. In World War I, America stayed neutral. They call it, they stayed isolated because they were trying to build the country, innovating, planning, reconstructing the nation. After that, China, after their civil war, China used to be called the Middle Kingdom. Most of you don't know that. And when the kingdom fell, and Mao became the leader of the communists, the new party from the Patriots. After the Civil War, they suffered. Chinese ate grass. They ate other people to stay alive. They had nothing. But they went back to the table. They didn't travel like that. You didn't see Chinese president or whatever it is all over the place. They send their people to pick minds. How do other people do it? But they had done it once before. So they had some idea how to do it. You listen to this old man telling us he will balance budget, telling us his goal will be different, telling all of these things. Boom. he gets the position and he's on the plane. I see my brother here. Exactly, Hassan. You know, I saw a post. Everybody thanking Musa Hassan Bilidi. Let me add my voice and say thank you to Musa. You know, I would give to Caesar what is due Caesar, to God what is due God. When I went in Liberia during the campaign, during the election, Musa had to rehabilitate all of those places again after he did it in the summer. This papa told us our cars would not get stuck in the mud. Okay? I see for praises, they jump the other halfway from Nimakante and jump on the southeastern side. So they're not working, going. They patch, then they jump, they patch, then they jump. And we're seeing the patch in real time. Why would the president be going to Nigeria? And you were paying for it. You know what bothersome is? When Liberians get under your post and they're telling you the papa is blessed. Great. What are you, cursed? You're begging? Your family begging. We saw 2 weeks ago a family of 5 burned in a house. No first responder. Nothing's changed. After advocates start talking, now they say the police is investigating. The police is investigating after they have been buried. Does that make sense to you? Is it logical? So I'm going to land here and finish this talking, okay? And there's a guy after him who understands the economy. Then we will talk about the bill. I know my brother Musa support the bill. I don't. And I will tell you why I don't support that particular bill. I support a bill to reduce compensation. It must be compensation. Listen, Liberian lawmakers, as far as I'm concerned, in 2017, 2018, were not making $8,000 unless they change it along the way when I was president, and it was never brought into the public space. Okay, Liberian lawmaker on the books, they were making $1,000. Everything else were all the compensation that came up to almost $20,000. So if they tell you lawmaker salary should be set at $5,000, okay, then you put in all the other consideration, they will be making $30,000 a month. Okay, so I know many of us are all hyped up about this, and we're jumping in, we're jumping out of it because it sounds good. Sometimes we have to consider the nuances that it's talking. I'm not saying anything about my brother Musa. Okay, I'm sure his heart is in the right place, but I'm trying to understand. All of us need to make it our duty and take the time to read that bill. All of a sudden, you bring the bill up this week and say the bill must pass, you're putting it on the floor. Then, Liberian people, we need somebody to put in a resolution. We need a resolution to set salary ceiling, that not salary, but compensation for lawmaker. That people going in to make laws, they're there to serve the country. Georgia have $40 billion. My lawmakers don't make $40,000 a year. Yeah, in Washington, it's 50 states with trillions and trillions of dollars. That's what it is. But let's listen to this woman. And I'm going to go back a little bit. Let's listen to him again.
Some estimates, the question again, some estimates have put the budget deficit at about 8.5% of the GDP. This deficit, as you know, affects the operations of government. What specific plans do you have to address the repeated budget deficit so that the government runs smoothly?
I think my government will insist on a balanced budget. If we lack fiscal discipline, spending out of budget is irresponsible. And you know very well, I think we too donor dependent. Everything we want must come from the donors. I have always said an overprotected child cannot be self-reliant. Liberians have the resources. We should use those resources wisely. We don't have to go to people to look for money if we manage our resources well. I'm happy that my counterparts, they always calling my name when they speak. Experience. Thank you very much for addressing me, because that's what I have. The experience. We've been in it. We don't just talk on issues. We know that if we have fiscal discipline, if we manage our budget well, and make sure that we just spend that which we have, we will avoid all of the problems that we have with excesses. And I know we can do it. We have the competence, but we must have the desire and the determination to do those things that are right. What we don't have is the determination to do the right things. We don't, excuses cannot help us. We need to spend our money wisely. We're talking about people in government. You only change the rules when you are in the game. Many people here are being in the game. They didn't change the rules. You change the rules when you are in the game. Now after that, you tell people what to do. All of us are serving government. But what we need is the discipline to make sure that we spend that which we have. Taxes are not going to help. We must have fiscal discipline to be able to.
Okay, so let's go back again. Did you just hear him? Taxes are not going to help us, but they just increase the taxes on the people to 13%, although no job have been created. But they increase their income, their compensation. The Senate got over, the legislature got over 50 million more, okay? And I saw a post today or yesterday, okay, where Liberian children are sitting on the floor, but we're building headquarters for political party. We're building presidential parties all over in the country. And we're calling it development. Listen, let me tell y'all something. No nation developed before its people. No nation. That's why they tell you every country that have rising up from the dirt, from the bottom up, that country prioritize its people, okay, human capital development. That's why when Saudi Arabia first found oil, the Desert Kingdom, that's what they did. They hire people from all around the world. In fact, I was talking to one of the teachers, the one that shared a Commodore with me today. In the summer, she was about to leave America. She applied to a lot of international schools around the world to go. She's a young lady in her 20s to go teach, okay? Because the foreign country pays more money for teachers, especially English teachers, for English and math, okay? To go to their country to teach their children. So they hire from around the world. So when your people, when they will tell you, so long, when your people are educated, the more educated your people are, the better quality of life your nation provides, the better quality of product that they produce, because the faculty is more amplified. They're able to think critically. They're able to produce quality goods, okay, and think beyond the bubble, okay. Right now, Liberia is where I called in the giver stage, where a few people have the knowledge and they can only dispense it to certain people, and the rest of the people got veil on top of their eyes. And this is where we are. Okay. So that here Pape Boaka out. He's telling all of these people, maybe except for Alexander Cummings, we'll all be in government. You can't change the rule until you are in it. But once they've been given the opportunity for them to change the rule and it benefits them, they will do exactly, if not worse, than those who have done it before. And especially when they don't have money, or if that's all they know. And in this place, this is all we know there. So let's continue with Boaka here.
Make sure that our budget is balanced. A balanced budget must be insisted upon. That means your revenue and your expenditure must be in place. Thank you very much.
Mr. Vice President,
Yeah.
I want to make a follow-up question, please. You just stated that we lack fiscal discipline in this country. Are you indicating that this government that you are part of is corporate to fiscal indiscipline?
A government, one of the things that people think about government is unity party. We are the only country who have 21 parties, all of them representing in government. So when you're talking about discipline, it's all of us. The Liberty Party is there, the CDC is there, everybody is there. All of us are there, and they all decide how to spend the money. So we all have to ask ourselves, have we been responsible enough? Have we been responsible enough? It's not Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, it's the government. So ask all of us, have we been responsible?
You also talked about spending out of budget is irresponsible. Is that the case that's happening now?
I am saying that if we have had a budget that we stick to, and that we know that we don't have the resources and we spend, it's irresponsible to spend out of money that you don't have. Unless you have a legitimate reason, like my counterpart said, that you can have excess in budget. But I believe we can keep our eyes on our income and our expenditure and live within that with discipline.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President.
All right, we'll now take the final question on our economy. Mr. Bromsky, can you move to the podium, please? The majority of Liberia's budget. Can we have your attention, please? Thank you. The majority of Liberia's budget is said to be spent on the recurring costs of running the government, especially regarding the payment of salaries. If you have the opportunity to go to the executive mansion, what measures will you propose to rein in the running, especially with the running of the government regarding this salary payment?
Well, I think I partly answered that question earlier when I talked about the reduction of salaries of the top few people. Because you see, this recurring expenses, it's not by the guys at the bottom of the scale, it's by those guys at the top. Okay? So we start by reducing salaries at the top and make sure that we are careful with how we purchase things on behalf of government. The Sally Boaka administration, starting 2006, spend millions of dollars every year purchasing vehicles. Not one time they can tell you, say, when vehicles that were purchased and depreciated was sold and the salvage value was reclaimed and placed in government revenue. So what we've been doing, spending money on vehicles for the big shots. After the vehicle are set to have depreciated, They take them and government buy new vehicles for them. Those are the things that we will stop. Look at gasoline fuel, for example. You got all of the big shots receiving gas slips, totaling millions and millions of dollars. There is no audit. The legislature presided over by the speaker cannot tell you when last they were audited. They receive millions and millions of dollars in gas slip. That's going to stop. That's going to stop. I would like to have government gas distribution.
So did y'all hear that? Nothing's changed. They're still getting gas slip. They're still getting gas slips. They're still getting cars. They're still getting calling cards. They're still getting generator fee. They're still getting, but the people who hire them can't even be supported when they go to the hospital. So you hear that? I'm going to come back. Let's go ahead and do that.
Centralized, where instead of giving gas slips, people can go to gas station. You go there, you take your vehicle, you take the mileage of the vehicle. They give you 10 gallons of gas. We know that 10 gallons of gas will take the vehicle's X number of miles. You're coming back. Before you reach X number of miles, you're not going to get the gas. Okay? Those are small, simple means by which we can cut down the recurring expenses of government. But since I still got time, let me talk to Joe's issue about having experience. You know, so experience is not enough. Your experience must be good experience.
Exactly.
Okay? I serve in government, and I don't want to be mixed with him. I serve in government as the president pro tempore of Liberian Senate. I'm one of the few government officials who were asked to leave government, not because I was corrupt, not because I was inefficient, but because I was advocating for Liberian people, and my way of doing things was different from that of the government of the day. So I don't want the vice president confusing me and him when it comes to experience. Experience are different, okay? My experience is a good experience that Liberian people need to run this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Cummings, can you move to the podium, please?
That's Alexander Cummings. You know, before Mr. Cummings come up, I wanted to say something. So experiences, we're talking about experiences, right? And I love how, again, tribute to Brunskin. I think most of you didn't know that a long time we supported when Brunskin was running. In fact, here, my husband, Mr. Crawford, who were the leader in the states, all of us, we hosted him here. Admire the do, okay? But it is where it is. We are where we are. May his soul rest in peace. He said, look, because you work somewhere does not mean you make any huge contribution. In Liberia, people are not accountable. You go, you cut your own, especially in higher position. That's it. So how does your experience translate to development, transparency, and not because we say development is such a big word that we use. How does that impact and change the nation? How does your experience transform the country? What did you do to transform it? Okay. And the first thing to say, you have to be to change it. You are there now, but every other week, at most 4 weeks, you're on the plea. You get your credit card charged to spend any amount of money you want to spend. Your wife is the second highest paying for what they call it, DSA, daily assisting living or subsistence, whatever you call it. All right. And you guys are just flipping, flapping everywhere, crisscrossing the continent. How does that change the life and livelihood of the Liberian people? So I particularly like this man. Said no nonsense. He said it the way it is. The way it is. The way it is. So let's continue on here. Then I will close up. I'm almost there. I'll use the last minute to talk to you about
So the question,
Do you want me to repeat the question?
is about reducing the recurrent.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Mr. Cummings?
I
Can you move away from the microphone? a bit?
okay.
Thank you.
I want to come at the question from the other side, meaning the question has been answered in the past as if the budget is static, as if we cannot grow the national budget. One way, and the way we will approach reducing that percentage, is to grow the budget. And the growth in the budget will be used for investment purposes. Yes, there's waste in the budget.
I like that. You know, I said this morning to all of you, that the budget, anything, money, economy, growth, planning, projection, hard work. Alexander Cummings is not a talk. He's an action man, a worker, an experience that have built and created jobs in countries, saved people multi-billion-dollar organization from bankruptcy. So you can see how he get hyped up when you're talking about it. And that's what we say in business economics, right? When you are in the area where you're good at, you shine, you give all you have because that's your niche. Okay, so let's look at it this way and listen to him. I love when he said, Liberia, when the budget grows, the lawmaker, the judiciary, the president budget grow. And it's static. It stays at for the nation, for the country itself. It stays right there. It is 90%. Unemployment 90%. And that's the way it is. The only thing that changed is those who came to change your life. And when you talk, you're stuck on your tribe. Okay, here we go. Listen to him. Well, the first thing he said, we talk as if to say the budget is static. No, it's not static. Meaning it's still, meaning it's unchanging, meaning it don't move. It don't flip, it don't flop, it don't go anywhere. He's telling you it's more than that. That's what static is. When something is static, it can't move, it is station. All right. In this life, it is not station. It will create jobs. Okay. Now that we do it, if we invest in our human capital and our people are able to produce, we can expand the budget. What he said, I make everybody laugh in 2017. Today, you are yelling and screaming. And what I've come to realize is majority of us is out of ignorance and jealousy. Okay, it's because the person who said it, I don't like the person. It's because the person who said it is not from a political party. It's because the person who can do it is not from my tribe. Or because the person who can do it is not Congo or it's not country. It's not Bandi, it's not Kwan, it's not Kuru, it's not Gio, it's not Basso, it's not Pere, it's not Loma, it's not Kisi, okay? It's not Grevo, it's not Gio. And that's what it is. But we can change Liberia if we look at things holistically and say, if we get a good leader, it will impact all of our lives. I seen a police guy crying. He left Joy, he broke his leg, and the government not taking care of him. I see former newscasters begging people to pay a hospital bill for them. I see young girls who have babies, twin, in the street begging to eat. But we are okay. Then we see the president bless. You know, I wrote something on somebody's post this morning and I will read it later. But let's listen to Alexander Cummings. Let's listen to what he has to say. And Mr. Cummings can speak to this because he actually have done the work before. That make millions and continue to make millions. Almost 15 years later, the product had increased. So let's listen to him.
I mentioned this earlier. Councilor mentioned the number of cars we buy. I mentioned travel and all the ways, how much we pay per unit of whatever. We have to reduce that. But ultimately, Raymond, we have to take that budget from 550 million to 700 million to $1 billion to 2 billion. And that's how we will reduce the recurrent expenditure. But let me tell you how we'll do it. So it's not just talk, right? We will do it by stimulating the growth in the economy of our country. We will do it by growing the private sector. We will do it by reducing the amount of regulation. We tie our hands. We create rules and laws that we cannot enforce. And we constrain the Liberian people. We constrain Liberian businesses. And we will simplify. I believe by even reducing our tax rates, we'll actually collect more money because we'll make it simpler to apply. There will be less room for corruption. We will also make sure we get the full value from our natural resources. Because again, we got to grow the revenue. There's cost reduction and there's revenue growth.
So let's talk about getting full value for our resources. It's not what is happening in Burkina Faso. They said in 2017. Is it not what happening in Niger? Is it not where the Ghana president John Mahama jet cohort on everything? Is that not what happening in Mali? He said it because he's done it all the places. All right, let's go. Let's finish this. Most of you have not really listened to it. I'm going to put a link on it here.
And so
go back and
we
listen to the
will
whole
grow the
video.
economic pie. And if you understand the math, by growing that, even if you help recurring expenditure the same, the percentage will go down over time as we take the budget from $600 million to $2 billion. And that's where we'll focus, is expansion, is growth. I want us as Liberians to rethink how we think about ourselves. We should be more expansive in our thinking. You know, we actually shouldn't talk about poverty reduction. We should be talking about wealth creation. We should want to create wealthy Liberians, not less poor Liberians. And this is what Alexander Cummings, Jeremiah Solonte, and the ANC-led government will do. We will create wealthy Liberians, we'll grow the economic pie for all Liberians, and through that process, we will reduce the amount of recurring expenditures. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that right there, that's it right there. So we have raised the budget since this debate. But you know what has not changed? Nothing. They put taxes on our people. They get more money. They divide among themselves. It does not trickle down to the people. I saw a post from Gafwan again. Liberia is going to invest in 100 schools. The government will come up with I don't know how many millions. 2 months ago, they told us they got us $68 or $60 million or $100 million to build 100 schools. Now they're bringing the same team back. How long will you continue to lie? You know that song from Bob Marley, what do you call it? Redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. How long they will continue to kill our prophets? How long will they continue to lie to you and you allow yourself? You know, that's the little drug head, stupid girl on Facebook yesterday posted Alexander Cummings' name, but I'm going to stop here. I'm not even going to go further. She got a position because she dragged somebody's child and the child was beaten to death. So they gave her position. The Francis Nyoumane, president nephew, told how much people he killed and how he did that. They gave him a position. He put a girl in a position to give her a job. Nothing happened. And we're saying the same thing. Now Pape Bouaka is in a position. But I have 5 minutes and I'm going to talk to you about the budget. Not the budget, the bill. I think there's a need for the balanced budget. I think Liberia is not in a position to pay anyone for that matter. $10,000, $7,000 a month, plus all of the other incentives. Salary is just a part of It's not the total compensation. So the word salary is very tricky. And the trickery in Liberia is too much. It does not matter where the levels are. I'm saying it. All right. So the salary on the book, the last I checked, it was $1,000. And they're telling us it's $7,000. So that means it's more than that. That does not include the compensations, like signature bonus, like committee fees, like, but I don't know what they have the committee for. They do nothing. They bring people before the committee, foreign affairs, whatever affairs. They lie on an oath. They break the law. They still get the position. There's no need for confirmation. There's no need for committee. That if you ask me at this point, there's no need for legislature. They're useless. They are making laws. They're also implementing, and they're aiding and they're abetting, breaking the very law that they make. I'm saying that. That's majority of the lawmakers in Liberia. You know, there's a post I put on my Facebook earlier, and I'm going to leave it that way. Y'all go on my Facebook and watch it. There's a young man in the African clothes the way my grandpa used to dress, and talking about Africa, the kind of leaders that come. And it spells everything out. Sisleti high. Okay? So, I've been out all day, folks. I have to find my bed. I left this morning. I had a conversation with you. Hey, Brother Alfred. I went to work. After work, I went to go see my student play basketball, both girls and boys. And I have to come here and have a conversation with you. Okay? Now, Alex is the real deal. But here what we're going to do. You know, I listened to the lady from Tennessee last night. And she said, we knock out over, I think she says 77,000 doors. And we will knock out some more doors. Let me speak to y'all. ANC people. Mr. and Mrs. Educated. Mr. and Mr. whatever you call yourself. You know, the Mano people say, you know, those days, the elders, the big guys, they used to go from nation to nation wrestling as a competition, yes, before they had WWF. And our grandparents, my grandfather used to say, when my grandfather said to you, this particular issue is no longer a wrestling show, it is war. That means there's a revolution. That means those of you who believe you want to leave a better Liberia for your children, you will get your lazy butt out of the chat rooms. You will get your loud mouth out of the chat room in your corner. You will take your experienced self and your educated self and your uppity up self from outside of your door, and you're going to go knock at doors. You're going to stop writing with condescension, okay? Cussing people to some degree, especially those who are not in power, that can't change anything. The person who you need to be mad at, that not doing the work, that Boaka. Like your lawmakers, like your judiciary, like your police director, especially Boaka, that who you go for. I'm saying that. It don't matter. Look, let me tell you something. I live in the United States of America. The nonsense that somebody is old, you can speak the truth to them, you can call them out, that's ludicrous. That's a way of keeping you in the box. to tell you because the person who owe need to respect themselves. The person who owe need to walk their talk. You know, people respect people if they can walk their talk. Leadership is about character. You can't listen, no child will respect a parent who worked, come home, don't provide food for his or her children, don't have a safe sleeping place for them, don't have clean clothes for them to wear, don't spend time with their child. They get paid. They take the money, they spend it on girlfriend, on boyfriend, on club, on liquor, on traveling. Your children will never respect you. You see why Liberia household is turning upside down? The strength of the nation depends on the integrity of the home. The nucleus of any nation is the family. If the father cannot provide for his children, if the mother is not able to nurture the children, that nation has flunk. And that's where Liberia is, because the fathers of the nation have stolen. You know, I will post tomorrow what Confusion said over here so we can have it. I will talk to you in the morning. I have spent my time. I'm going to go pick something to eat and take a shower and hit the bed. I'm going to say to all of you, those who tune in tonight, please follow us on this page. Tuesday night, Thursday night, Saturday morning, we're here. And we are also on YouTube. Please subscribe. I will be doing, if you're in Liberia, I will be doing some yes, I will be doing a raffle. Okay, I want to get us up to at least 1,000 followers. All right, on my YouTube. All right, so we can, how you call it? This weekend I'm gonna put up. I need to do a fundraiser to take care of my platform, folks. We have a station, brother Afra. I'm gonna be reaching out to all of you personally. I need help to fix the radio station in Liberia so we can be live. Okay, and we can use the radio station there. I have been running back and forth, not being able to do a lot. Okay, Sis Eleanor, hi mama, hi. Yes, so that's the YouTube. Even if they delete at the end of the month to move this is the YouTube. I'm just gonna put on the page. Okay, I tried downloading it and put it up, but for some reason I gotta ask somebody how to do that. Yep, I'm not sure who are making case for Liberia. Daylight robbery, political tragedy. One thing I don't want to hear though, people, hopefully that is not Jefferson Koji talking here. All right. So if it's Jefferson Koji, you need to, but I'm going to read it. I'm not just going to dismiss. We're going to talk about that later. Okay. So everyone who believes Liberia is possible, like Mandela said, it always seems impossible until it's done. And then he said, let those who say cannot be done leave those who are already doing it alone. We said a black man could not be president in this country. A black man became president in the country because we wrote our sleeve. Young people, especially young people, college students, black women, we got out. Now, Liberian women, it's time for you to tired of. You are trying everything. You are trying the old, you are trying the young, you are trying the educated, the uneducated, the miseducated. You are trying all of them. You try all of them. It's time for a new direction. It is. She had a concept of burning. So I'm gonna read what I wrote today on my Facebook this morning. Okay, folks, thank you for the compliment on my stuff that I posted with my clothes. That orange represent something. Pinned the word orange. Okay, it's about violence against women. All right, so let's go here. Let's see where we are. Let me read this. A note. A nation that is truly changing for its people is one where leadership is trusted. The economy gives hope. Communities feel safe. Justice is fed and the future is protected through strong infrastructure and human development. But this is our reality as Liberians. Nearly 90% unemployed. 87% of the national budget spent on salaries and consumptions. Okay. Over 64% living in abject poverty. It's not just poverty. Okay. Abject poverty. Now here we go. Yet the leader demands 5,000 monthly salary and benefit. Remember I said salary. That's not a total compensation. That's not compensation. Salary is just a portion of. So that is the caveat. Okay. That all of us have to understand. We need to read that. Okay. Now, in a country of 6 million people with no meaningful job creation in 2 decades, and the budget that borrows only to spend, not to build. We borrow from the world to pay it ourselves while our children inherit debts and despair. This is not change. This is not progress. I want you guys to know it is not progress. This is not the Liberia our people deserve. This is not the Liberia our people voted for. Okay, now, what Liberia needs is real change. Where we on here is not even transaction before I would say transition and before I would call it change. It is a lie. It is a mirage. All right, it is. If today the government is doing what the government doing, where are we? Here, Brother Freeman. Thank you, Edwin. You and I need to talk. All right. So I'm going to get off now. I want to say thank you for those of you who tune in. We have to talk about this. We have to be honest. If those of you who say you love the old man, but I know you don't. You love that he was popular to get to where he is, for you to use him to recover and steal more where you could not. Most of you were struggling. Most of you were struggling. Now, most of you are millionaires. But you forgot that power is given, is never taken. What is taken is freedom. So this one, the advice is to those in leadership, power is given. It is the people who gave power. Then to the Liberian people, freedom. It's not like an apple or an orange that when it's ripe, it's going to drop eventually. You take it. You stand up. You fight for it. You stand up. You advocate. You take one. You educate one. Folks, it's time to get out of the chat room. It's time to mobilize. It's time to knock at doors. It's time to take it personal to educate your people why it must be different. Why it must be different. You must take it personal. Okay? Good night, everyone. I will. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Sis Rebecca, Brother Edwin, Sis Elnor, Sis Letty Brooks, all of you here that I can see so far, Brother Alfred Hassan, Brother Eric Peabody, all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Please share the show. Please put it on your Facebook and or put it in the chat room that you're in. God bless. Let me say good night to all of you. I'll see you tomorrow morning for our 10-minute chat. I have a few things that I want to show you, and we'll take that from there. God bless and good night.